Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Sims 4 speed build for you, and today we're working on a modern micro home. So in The Sims, a micro home is designated with 32 tiles. So you can see I've got the tile count up top, and right here in a second I do something a little weird with the roof. I end up like closing it off with a random wall segment that I drew on the ground first and moved it. The reason I did that was because if I drew it all the way around, it was going to see that space as like a room, and it would have counted those floor tiles as part of my 32 tile count. Since I wasn't using it as living space, I didn't want it to be counted as living space, if that makes sense. Because for a micro home, you actually get a lot of perks like skill gain, relationship gain, like all that kind of stuff, lowered bills. So I wanted to make sure that if you use this house, you could still get those perks, even though technically there's like floor tiles up top, because I didn't want to do like a traditional roof. So I just used half walls for it and then had to draw that side and put it up there differently. And for some reason, the game just doesn't see it as a room, which is totally fine with me. And so I decided to go with a black, white, and gray color scheme. So I have brick on part of the house and then this like wooden like shiplap kind of stuff on the rest of the house. And then I kept it pretty simple. So this house does have like a kitchen, a full kitchen, and a bathroom, and like a living room slash bedroom space. I do end up using the pull down bed from Tiny Living, and I don't use it very often because the Murphy beds will kill your sim. I've never actually had it happen, but honestly, usually I get really attached to my Sims and I don't want them to die because of a bed. So I don't use it, but honestly, like it came in the Tiny Living pack, so it's kind of perfect for the micro home. So I do end up using that item, and I think it looked really nice, and it also doubles as like, I believe it also has like a dresser functionality and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of stuff packed into one. And I even included a desk in here with a computer, so your Sims have a lot to do, and so they shouldn't get bored. There's also plenty of space if you want to add in like an easel or something like that. I didn't. It's a pretty like generic build in the sense that like I feel like it would fit kind of any sim. And then I use this like tall fence. I don't use it very often, but I thought it was nice for privacy and added a little bit of architectural interest to the build. And I did end up using like an apartment looking mailbox because honestly, I just didn't like the way the other mailboxes looked on the lot, so I just changed it. And then I decided to use like these bamboo trees, and honestly, I don't usually use them, but for some reason it just spoke to me and I really liked it on this lot. I kept the landscaping really simple, so basically that's kind of it for the front yard. I do add a few rocks to help kind of put a pathway in there. I tried using like fencing, but then it was really weird because it started looking at it as floor tiles. So since I didn't want it to be floor tiles, I just replaced it with some rocks, so it still looks like a nice designated area. And then adding a little terrain paint around all of those like stepping stone areas and paved areas, I think adds a little bit of like actual realistic lived in look, if that makes sense. And I do put another bamboo tree in the back, and actually the back porch is a very like decked out space. Like it's got a seating area, a chess table, a grill, a table. Like it has like kind of everything you would need. So even if like there's not a dining table inside the build, there is one out on the porch if you'd like to use it. But if it's storming, there's still a couch. Like your Sims have plenty of place to sit, especially since I don't expect for you to have like a ton of Sims here. And actually, I'm trying to remember if the Murphy bed, if it's actually up against the wall, in which case like only one side of the bed is actually like able to be accessed. The Sims are supposed to be able to scoot over so you can have two Sims, but I hear like mixed reactions on that. Like some people say, yeah, it works, and some people say it doesn't. So, you know, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. So at least one sim will work in this home, and this is already up on the Sims 4 gallery. If you would like to download it, feel free to do so, change it, do whatever you want to it. My gallery ID is spicensprinkles, all one word mushed together, and it's down in the description if you'd like to see it. But feel free to download it if you would like to. And so I did all of the landscaping in the outside first, And I was really happy that I was able to use that fountain feature in the backyard because I think it looked really nice there and gave some interest without having to add like a ton of landscaping, because I just used that bush like over and over again to create this like lush looking area. And really this green is kind of the big pop of color in this build. And then I got to use those really cool lights outside. I don't use them very often because they are large. Of course, you can size them down, but I thought they looked really neat with this house. And I end up using this 3-tile bathroom, and what ends up happening is you put in the shower like right in front of the door, and it still works. Your Sims can still get in and walk around and everything, but you get your bathroom in like the 3 tiles, which I think worked really well here. And I was originally I thought about putting a bed in there, but then I thought, maybe not. Maybe there's just not enough room. So we end up putting that Murphy bed in, and yeah, I do end up scooting it all the way over to make room for the desk. And we do even have a couple of plants in here. So it's actually, even though it's small, I feel like it has a lot of personality and would work really well in gameplay. And I ended up I did have like a doorway there to begin with, but then I just felt like it was kind of closed off. I wish the doorway was like taller, but the taller ones are wider and I couldn't have a wider one. So I actually just took that piece of wall out and just put columns up to give it like a designated area. Kind of created my own arch walkway thing going on. And I think that worked out really well. And I actually used a lot of the Tiny Living stuff in here. So that lamp and the TV console thing, that's all from Tiny Living, as well as the stuff here in the bathroom, because I thought that kind of makes sense. So actually, you should be pretty good to go with Tiny Living. And then I believe the kitchen ended up being Cool Kitchen, I think, was the pack that the stuff came from. I was back and forth a little bit on what I wanted to use in the kitchen. And then, of course, those lights are from the Decor to Max kit that came out. I love those lamps so much, and I thought it worked really well in here. And I was going to go really like monochrome, like neutral with like that black or white vase of whatever those are, like things there. But then I was like, no, I think we should actually have some other stuff in here, like a plant. And where that plant is right now is actually where a desk is going to go. So I do swap that around here soon. And then I do put a little bit of clutter here, and I love using that candle thing. I know I say that all the time because it just adds a little extra light and warmth in a space. And so even though like this is a black and white build, I feel like it's pretty warm actually to have in here. And like I said, the bathroom still does work. I did like size down this rug. I thought it gave it a little more personality. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was working on this entryway kitchen space, I had a really hard time. I really was considering taking out the doors and making them smaller because I wanted a little extra space. I was really trying to put in like a dining area, but I don't know. It just didn't work out. I didn't want to change the door because it looked so good on the outside. I didn't want to swap them around. So I do leave them because I liked them that way. And so I just gave up the dining space. But you do have this couch, you have the desk, you have the space outside, so there's a lot of room. I did also contemplate putting a ladder up to the top so your sim could get to the roof, and that could also be a space that they could hang out. But I opted not to for this build and really keep it to the 32 tiles plus a little bit of outdoor space. I do have another build. It's not a speed build because I did it a while ago before I was making videos or anything like that, that is also on the gallery that does have living space up top. So that is another option if you want that. So there's another build similar to this one that would have that. And this is me kind of seeing if I could swap it out, and I tried, but I really like the way they look to begin with. So, I left them that way. But it does have like a full kitchen with a stove, a fridge, and even a sink. So, everything's here for your sim. Of course, there's a mirror, there's a dresser space. So they should be able to do everything that they need to do, as well as building their logic skill and everything like that. And then actually I did build this before the werewolf pack came out, but if it was later, I probably would have also put the telescope in the backyard because I think that would be really cool. And then I just put a little bit of decoration. I actually don't put too much clutter in here because it's so tiny. I didn't want to take up a ton of room with clutter. So just putting a few things in the kitchen to give it a little personality. And then that's actually about it. So I've got some screenshots coming for you here in a second. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. That would mean a lot to me. Let me know down below if you have any build requests. I would love to see those. And I hope you have a really sweet day. Bye, everybody.